Self-discipline is the key that unlocks the door to everything you want in life. It's the bridge between your dreams and your reality. It's the difference between wishing and achieving. And today I'm going to share with you 7 powerful techniques to master this essential skill. Let's start with technique number 1, define your why. You see, self-discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about having a reason so compelling that it pulls you towards your goals, about having a why that makes you cry. Think about it. Why do you want to be more disciplined? Is it to provide a better life for your family? To make a difference in your community? To fulfill a lifelong dream? Whatever it is, it needs to be powerful enough to get you out of bed on those mornings when you'd rather hit the snooze button. I remember a young man who came to one of my seminars. He was struggling with discipline, always starting projects, but never finishing them. I asked him, "What's your why?" He looked at me blankly. He didn't have one, and that was his problem. So we worked on it. Turns out his deepest desire was to start a non-profit to help underprivileged kids, just like he used to be. That became his why. And let me tell you, once he had that clarity, his whole life changed. He became unstoppable. So your first task is to define your why. Make it big. Make it emotional. Make it so compelling that you can't help but take action. Now let's move on to technique number 2, start small. Many people fail at self-discipline because they try to change everything at once. They decide they're going to wake up at 5 a.m., work out for 2 hours, eat a perfect diet, and become a productivity machine, all starting tomorrow. And you know what happens? They burn out within a week. Self-discipline is like a muscle. You wouldn't walk into a gym and try to lift the heaviest weights on your first day, would you? No, you'd start small and gradually increase the weight as you get stronger. The same principle applies to self-discipline. Start with one small habit. Maybe it's making your bed every morning, or reading for 15 minutes a day, or drinking an extra glass of water. It doesn't matter how small it is. What matters is that you do it consistently. I once met a woman who transformed her life by starting with just 2 minutes of meditation every day. Just 2 minutes. But she did it every single day without fail. And you know what? After a few weeks, those 2 minutes became 5, then 10, then 20. Before she knew it, she had developed a rock-solid meditation practice that gave her the clarity and focus to excel in every area of her life. Remember, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. It's the little things that make the big difference. This brings us to our third technique: create systems, not goals. Now, don't get me wrong, goals are important. They give us direction. But systems are what get us there. A goal is your desired outcome. A system is the process that leads to that outcome. Let me give you an example. Let's say your goal is to write a book. That's great. But it's not enough. You need a system. Your system might be to write 500 words every day, no matter what. Rain or shine. Whether you feel inspired or not, you sit down and write those 500 words. See, goals can be intimidating. They can feel far away. But systems are about what you can do right now, today. And that's where the power of self-discipline really shines. I know a successful entrepreneur who credits his success not to setting ambitious goals, but to following a simple system. Every day without fail, he makes 5 sales calls before noon. That's it. That's his system. And over time, those daily 5 calls have added up to a multi-million-dollar business. So by all means, set your goals. Dream big, but then focus on creating systems that will inevitably lead you to those goals. Because when you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. Now, let's talk about technique number 4, manage your environment. Your environment is a powerful force in shaping your behavior. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you're trying to eat healthier, but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're trying to be more productive, but your workspace is cluttered and distracting, you're making it harder than it needs to be. The solution: design your environment to make self-discipline easier. Want to exercise more? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Trying to read more. Keep a book on your nightstand. Want to eat healthier? Stock your fridge with nutritious foods and keep the junk out of the house. I once worked with a gentleman who was struggling to quit smoking. He'd tried everything, or so he thought. But when we looked at his environment, we realized it was full of triggers. The ashtray on his porch, the lighter in his car, even the route he took to work that passed by his favorite tobacco shop. We changed all of that. We got rid of everything related to smoking in his house. He started taking a different route to work. And you know what? It made all the difference. He finally kicked the habit for good. Remember, discipline is about making things easier for your future self. And one of the best ways to do that is to create an environment that supports your goals rather than sabotages them. This leads us nicely into our fifth technique, develop keystone habits. A keystone habit is a habit that, when practiced regularly, tends to lead to other good habits. It's like a domino effect for positive behavior, and it's a powerful tool in developing self-discipline. For example, regular exercise is often a keystone habit. When people start exercising consistently, they often start eating better without consciously trying to. They might start going to bed earlier to be fresh for their morning workout. They might start drinking more water. All these positive changes stem from that one keystone habit of regular exercise. Another common keystone habit is making your bed every morning. It seems small, but it starts your day with an accomplishment. It creates a sense of pride and motivates you to keep that momentum going throughout the day. I remember working with a young entrepreneur who was struggling with time management. We identified journaling as a potential keystone habit for him. He started spending just 10 minutes each morning writing in his journal. And you know what happened? He became more reflective. He started planning his days better. He became more aware of his goals and priorities. That simple habit of journaling led to a cascade of positive changes in his life. So, identify your keystone habits. What are those behaviors that, when you do them, seem to make everything else in your life a little bit better? Focus on developing those habits, and you'll find that self-discipline becomes easier in all areas of your life. Now, let's move on to technique number 6, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the current moment. And it's a powerful tool for developing self-discipline. Why? Because self-discipline often fails in moments of mindlessness. We eat the cookie without thinking. We check social media when we should be working. We skip the gym because we're on autopilot. Mindfulness helps us become aware of these moments. It helps us pause between stimulus and response. And in that pause, we find the power to choose our response rather than react out of habit. I once worked with a corporate executive who was known for his short temper. It was affecting his relationships and his career. We started working on mindfulness techniques, nothing fancy, just simple breathing exercises and moment-to-moment awareness. And you know what? It transformed him. He became more patient, more focused, more in control of his reactions. His relationships improved and his career took off. So how do you practice mindfulness? It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before responding to a situation, or paying full attention to what you're doing, whether it's eating, walking, or working. The key is to keep bringing your attention back to the present moment gently and without judgment. Remember, self-discipline isn't about never feeling tempted or distracted. It's about being aware of those feelings and choosing your response. And mindfulness is the tool that gives you that choice. This brings us to our 7th and final technique, embrace discomfort. Now, I know this doesn't sound appealing. We're wired to seek comfort and avoid pain. But here's the truth. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. The ability to embrace discomfort is what separates the successful from the average. Think about it. Every worthwhile goal requires some level of discomfort. Want to get in shape? You're going to have to embrace the discomfort of exercise. Want to start a business? You're going to have to embrace the discomfort of uncertainty and potential failure. I want to learn a new skill. You're going to have to embrace the discomfort of being a beginner. I remember working with a young woman who wanted to become a public speaker. She had great ideas, but she was terrified of speaking in front of people. So we started small. She began by speaking in front of a mirror, then to a small group of friends, each time pushing just a little bit outside her comfort zone. And you know what? Over time, that discomfort became less and less. Today, she's a successful speaker who has impacted thousands of lives with her message. The key is to reframe how you think about discomfort. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided, see it as a sign of growth. When you feel uncomfortable, it means you're pushing your boundaries. It means you're getting stronger. Now, let's tie all these techniques together, because the real power comes when you use them in combination. Imagine this: you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is make your bed. That's your keystone habit, giving you an immediate sense of accomplishment. You then spend a few minutes journaling, clarifying your goals and your why. This mindful practice centers you for the day ahead. As you go about your day, you follow the systems you've set up. Maybe it's making those 5 sales calls before noon, or writing 500 words of your book. Your environment supports these habits. Your workspace is clean and organized. Your healthy snacks are within reach. When challenges arise, you pause and take a deep breath. This moment of mindfulness allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. And when you face tasks that are uncomfortable or difficult, you lean into that discomfort, knowing it's a sign of growth. Each small victory throughout the day reinforces your self-discipline. Over time, these daily practices compound, leading to significant changes in your life. Now, I want to be clear about something. Developing self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or never giving in to temptation. We're human after all. We're going to have days when we fall short. The key is how we respond to those moments. Do we use them as an excuse to give up? Or do we see them as learning opportunities and get back on track? I've seen too many people give up because they couldn't maintain perfect discipline. But perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. It's about being a little bit better today than you were yesterday. It's about winning more often than you lose. Remember, self-discipline is a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice. You wouldn't expect to pick up a guitar for the first time and play like Eric Clapton, would you? Of course not. You'd expect to hit some wrong notes, to struggle with chord changes, to sound a bit off at first. But with consistent practice, you'd get better. The same is true for self-discipline. You're going to have days when you slip up. You might skip a workout, or procrastinate on an important task, or lose your cool in a stressful situation. That's okay. The important thing is to get back on track as quickly as possible. In fact, how you handle these slip-ups is a crucial part of developing self-discipline. It's about cultivating resilience. It's about saying, okay, I messed up. What can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? This attitude of constant learning and improvement is what separates those who succeed in the long run from those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. Now let's talk about the benefits of mastering self-discipline, because make no mistake, the rewards are enormous. First and foremost, self-discipline gives you control over your life. Instead of being at the mercy of your impulses or external circumstances, you become the captain of your own ship. You decide where you're going and how you're going to get there. Self-discipline also builds self-esteem. Every time you follow through on a commitment you've made to yourself, you're building trust with yourself. You're proving to yourself that you are capable, that you can rely on yourself. And that feeling of self-trust is incredibly empowering. Moreover, self-discipline is the foundation of success in every area of life. Whether it's in your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, self-discipline is the common denominator of achievement. In your career, self-discipline allows you to stay focused on your goals, to put in the necessary work even when you don't feel like it. It helps you meet deadlines, exceed expectations, and continually improve your skills. In your relationships, self-discipline helps you be more present, more patient, and more consistent. It helps you follow through on your commitments and be the kind of person others can count on. In your health, self-discipline is what gets you to the gym when you'd rather stay on the couch. It's what helps you choose the salad over the pizza. It's what ensures you get enough sleep, even when there's one more episode of your favorite show to watch. And in your personal growth, self-discipline is what keeps you learning, evolving, and pushing your boundaries. It's what turns your goals and dreams into reality. But perhaps the greatest benefit of self-discipline is the sense of freedom it brings. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive. How can discipline lead to freedom? Well, think about it this way. When you have self-discipline, you're no longer a slave to your impulses or bad habits. You have the freedom to choose your actions based on your long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. Moreover, the results that come from consistent self-discipline, whether it's financial stability, good health, strong relationships, or personal achievement, give you more options in life. And more options mean more freedom. I've seen this play out countless times in the lives of people I've worked with. I remember a young man who came to one of my seminars. He was drowning in debt, struggling in his career, and his health was a mess. He felt trapped with no control over his life. We worked on developing his self-discipline. It wasn't easy. There were plenty of setbacks along the way. But he stuck with it. He created a budget and stuck to it, even when it meant saying no to things he wanted in the short term. He started exercising regularly and eating better, even though he didn't enjoy it at first. He devoted time every day to improving his skills, even when he was tired after a long day at work. And you know what? Over time, his life transformed. He paid off his debt. He got promoted at work. His health improved dramatically. And most importantly, he felt in control of his life. He had options he never had before. That's the freedom that self-discipline brings. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we talk about self-discipline. Some people worry that becoming more disciplined means losing their spontaneity or zest for life. They fear that they'll become rigid or joyless. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, I'd argue that self-discipline actually allows you to enjoy life more fully. When you're in control of your actions in your life, when you're making progress towards your goals, you have more capacity to be present and enjoy the moment. Think about it. When you're constantly stressed about money because you can't control your spending, can you really enjoy that expensive dinner out? When you're always tired because you can't discipline yourself to get enough sleep, can you really enjoy your free time? When you're not following through on your commitments, can you really enjoy your relationships without the weight of guilt or disappointment? Self-discipline gives you the foundation to truly enjoy life. It frees up mental and emotional energy that you can then invest in the things that truly matter to you. Moreover, self-discipline allows you to earn your leisure. There's a unique satisfaction in relaxing or indulging after you've accomplished what you set out to do. The dessert tastes sweeter after you've eaten your vegetables, so to speak. I remember a successful businessman who told me that his most enjoyable vacations were the ones he took after completing a major project or achieving a significant goal. The sense of earned reward made the relaxation all the sweeter. So don't think of self-discipline as the enemy of enjoyment. Think of it as the key to deeper, more meaningful enjoyment. Now, as we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize something crucial. Developing self-discipline is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not something you achieve once and then you're done.